All right, so I wanted to do something really obnoxious for the intro, so I thought I would just say hi. Hi. Today, I'm going to start working on the cold side for the triple turbo setup. So that's what everything's looking like now. Quick update. It hasn't changed a whole lot since you saw it last, but I did finish the pipe going down. I was going to do a 90 just going straight down here, but I wasn't thinking about the cross member that's under there. So I did a 90 this way and then a 90 back down. So it clears. Here we got about an inch of room, so that should be good. Everything is pretty much in place where it needs to be, but I did think of a plan for what I want to do to mount these things. So that threaded rod and that tubing right there is going to be used to basically mount this. And what I want to do is put the threaded rod inside the tubing and basically create like a standoff, but I'll also be able to bolt the turbos right to the bed and it'll secure everything. So I'll do that in probably a different video. I want to start working on the cold side piping today with the aluminum. I have 2-inch outlets and I have one section of 2-inch aluminum tubing, which I have no idea where it went right now, but what I'm going to do, I found this on eBay for 10 bucks. So I was looking for aluminum reducers because what I want to do is I want to come out this side, go 2-inch to 3-inch, and then 3-inch pipe, and then do like 2-inch runner into the 3-inch pipe. So I wanted to expand the 2-inch runner into a 3-inch, so I found this thing on eBay. I'm a little worried about that seam there. It looks like it's a welded seam, but it didn't penetrate very well, except for on the very ends. So might send it, see how it goes. But this is a 1.5-inch to 5-inch. So what I'm basically going to do is use like a 2-inch tubing. So this is a 2-inch coupler. Essentially I'll put the tubing over, we'll mark it, cut it off. So I have the 2-inch, and then I'll put a 3-inch pipe over it and then mark it, cut it off at the 3-inch mark. And then I will be left with the 2-inch to 3-inch expander pipe. This is the same thickness as all the other tubing that I'm using. And it was 10 bucks shipped to my house. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I'm going to clean these things up with a Scotch-Brite and start doing some stuff. Probably going to do a lot of pie cuts. Didn't buy any bends. So aluminum, yay boys. I did find a muffler locally. A guy just actually responded, so that's kind of cool. I got a muffler from a V8 vehicle. I don't even know what it was from, but it said it was on a V8. Essentially I'm going to go down here, do like, another 90 this way, and then I'm going to have a loud valve there, like the exhaust valve, cutout valve, and run it to a V8 muffler back here. So it should be, that's my goal with this thing, is for it to be completely quiet and run and idle just like a completely muffled factory sounding vehicle, kind of like that sleeper mode is the goal here, and then have the exhaust cut out. So I'm using a vacuum cutout. So when I lose vacuum, it's gonna get louder. So that's kind of the goal. I might go to a boost actuated valve instead of the vacuum valve for the exhaust, but we'll see. Because I'd like it to be, even if it's not making boost, that the valve is open, but if I'm like sitting idling it in my driveway at 4 in the morning to take it to work, that it's not going to be loud. That 2-inch tube, I just spent about 15 minutes trying to find it, and there it is. It's inside the pipe. So the joys of always working with a 2-year-old in the garage with you. So my little buddy, but he likes to hide stuff on me. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is take my 2-inch pipe, put it over the 1.5 section, and I'm just going to mark all the way around it. I wonder if I could even, because I'm going to have it kind of up at an angle, I wonder if I could cut it in a way that it's going to work on that pipe without having to do another pie cut or something. Man, I wonder if I could make that work. That'd be really cool. I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to trace it on something like this angle and then get it to weld. And then I might try to do the 3-inch section at a little bit of an angle so I can almost use the flare as a pie cut, if that makes sense. So let's try that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's a good recipe if you follow recipes. So let's try this. The downside to it is it ruins my little flare piece that I bought if it doesn't work. But the upside is it also ruins the flare piece that I bought, but it might work. So I'm going to do that. Let's do this first. I'm going to cut this first, weld this on, and then I'll see what angle I need to put the 3-inch piece on. Yeah, that's gonna be tricky. Let's do it. All right, so kind of funny. I just set this thing down flat on the bandsaw and just left the blade vertical, and that's like the angle that I got out of it. So it wasn't exactly on the line. It was much easier to just set it down. So that worked pretty good. I'm gonna try that, and I'm gonna need to cut a little bit of an angle to get it to the perfect like 90-degree for the flare, but shouldn't be too bad. We'll figure it out. All right, guys, so here's the first little weld section on the aluminum piece. And I'm going to tell you guys, this regulator that I got, I think it was a complete game changer, because that weld doesn't really look that bad. And I usually struggled a lot with aluminum. And this one was just like clean, very nice. It welded almost exactly like steel, just like how the puddle flowed. Everything seemed really nice, and it looks pretty decent and clean. So I'm going to keep going. Hopefully I'm not too excited, but I really think changing my regulator, this is the first time I welded aluminum with the new regulator on it, was a game changer, because I might not have known with a brand new machine how much I was struggling with poor gas coverage. So very cool. I'm kind of motivated about this. Let's keep going. All right, so I just did my first weld on this. I explained that already. Let's weld. We're gonna do some delding. Delding is what my 2-year-old calls welding. Are you delding? Are you delding? So we're going to do some delding. I'm going to turn the machine on too. That helps. Really helps. Tough one to turn. Okay, here, for example, on the video, I even dipped the tungsten. Look at that weld. I even dipped the tungsten in the aluminum during that weld, and it still came out clean. So, this is a lot different This is a lot different. And that was like game over before. If I would mess up anything, or even if it like, if I wouldn't wipe down the rod, which I didn't do on here, it was game over. We're playing a different game here now. Let's do it. It's like a caterpillar, dude. It's like a caterpillar, man. I'm the cat man. Like cat lady. But you're not a lady. Alrighty guys, I got the first weld all done, and I'm actually very impressed with this because I haven't welded aluminum for probably almost 6 months, 5 months, and this came out really clean without even really trying or struggling that much. That whole cone thing that I showed you, this is all that I used because this matches up perfectly to like the 3-inch now. See that? So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 2-inch to 3-inch just like that, and that was my spacer that I need. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from that left turby down to the other one and some type of an angle. What I decided was I'm not going to go directly 90 this way. I'm going to pop it out a little bit and then go this way. So essentially when it comes out of the turbo, it's going to come forward a little bit. But I'm not a complete dork because remember that part that I was talking to you about before on the inside of this cone? That I didn't feel like the weld was penetrated very well? When I was grinding this smooth to get it flat, it cracked that whole weld. So that was not very strong. So probably wouldn't have held up to very much boost anyways. So I'm kind of glad I found that when it cracked when I was grinding it. So now I'm going to re-weld that whole thing, and we'll keep going. Let's just keep going. Alright guys, so here's kind of where we're at. So I did do the pipe thing conversion, the 2-inch to 3-inch. I added an extra pie cut piece. It kind of looks like garbage because on the top, right there-ish on the top, I blew a hole in it. It was like a really big hole. For some reason, like the whole piece that I cut just like split in half. And it was like in probably a 1/2 inch by 1 inch hole that I filled. And I just decided that I was going to weld it shut. I don't know if you can see it, but it was big. It's a big bugger. But that's what I got here now. So we've got the 2-inch going into the 3-inch. And then the other two are going into the 3-inch. And then I'm going to connect this piece in there, probably in the side of the bed. It's going to go up the front. And I'm going to use this other big old boy right here, the 3-inch, to go up to the front. So that's kind of where it's at right now. Enjoy.